What's going on, everybody? Frank Bernardo here with Recruiting Boss. I'm the owner of recruitingboss.com, recruitingboss.ai. I've been a real estate agent for over 23 years. I have closed millions of dollars worth of real estate, hundreds of homes. I don't know. I don't keep track of that stuff. I've recruited on average 100 agents a year for the last 10 years, thousands of agents. I've run 500 people offices. I've had a real estate team with my wife, and we did close to 50 million in sales. And I'm here because I want to help you have the most amazing 2026 that you could possibly have. And part of the reason that I'm doing this is that I'm watching all of these real estate gurus and influencers out there giving all of this advice, and it's just driving me insane. Listen, if your real estate coach is not selling real estate, and if you are following somebody that maybe owns a large group of people, but that's really all they've ever done. I mean, I get it. An influencer is just an influencer, but people follow some of these people religiously, and they're just giving out dog shit advice. And honestly, it's driving me crazy. It's driving me crazy. These people are looked up to, and they're giving false hope, and they're leading people down the wrong path. And almost every one of them wants to put their hand in your pocket and take money. So my agenda, I don't have nothing to sell you today. If you could watch the video, subscribe, and send this to somebody that you think could use it, that would be my ask of you. And please don't pay some of these people that are trying to sell you stuff that's just not going to work. So let me address the first thing that I hear out there is that 2026 is going to be the most amazing year ever, and it's going to crush all the other years, and it's going to be awesome. Listen, maybe, but the people that are saying that also said that 2025 was amazing, 2024 was amazing. And there's people out there that are saying that those years are terrible and those years are great. Let me explain to you how the real estate market works. There are no good years and there are no bad years, because there are people that say this has been the worst real estate year ever for me. I can go find you somebody that said that this was the best real estate year for me ever out there. And good versus bad just depends on a lot of different things. So there is no good or bad real estate market. It's just the real estate market. Even when it crashed, I had an amazing year. Why did I have an amazing year when it crashed? When I say it crashed in 2008 is what I'm talking about when it crashed. I had an amazing year because I realized short sales were going to be a thing. I had 32 listings that were not selling. And then I went out and I figured out how to do short sales. I actually brought in a team member that knew how to do short sales, and we did short sales, and we did extremely well. And then, I figured it out from there. So don't listen to these people who are telling you how good or bad the real estate market's going to be. Like, seriously, that drives me insane. I have my notes over here on the left. I'm going to take a look at, because I'm going to jump around. I'm not reading this off of the teleprompter or anything. Let me see. Reality check. Most agents didn't sell any. Yeah. So this is the other thing. This is not from this last year. This is the last couple of years. Most agents haven't sold anything. Like more than 50%, and in some cases, some years, 70% of agents have sold nothing. That's out of 1.5 million agents. Nothing. I can pull up agents in my local offices in my area here, and more than 2/3 of them have zero sales. And it's not the market. It's these agents have either been not given the correct information on how to build a business, or they've been overwhelmed with information. There's a couple of companies out there that just give you a ton of training, and you know what? Training's great, but action's better. Action's better. What I want to do is I want to give you 3 groups and tell you what to do if you're a part of one of these 3 groups. You are a part of one of these 3. You're a producing agent, you're a non-producing agent, or you're a recruiter. One of the 3. Recruiting is going to resonate with all 3. So if you're a recruiter, hang in here and listen to all 3 of these, because they're going to apply to you. So now when I say, are you a producing agent? I mean, have you done between 5 to 10 deals a year? So producing in California, like Los Angeles, 5 to 10, you're going to make $100,000. In other areas, it's, if you're in a lesser state, there's parts of Florida that are under 500,000 average sale price. That's fine. You're gonna have to do more than 10 deals. But if you're a producing agent, I'm going to give you what you need to do to be successful and all the pitfalls of what you can do to not be successful. So the pitfall is really super easy. It's like you try to do more than what made you successful. I'm sorry about this light coming in, like sun is coming in and out of clouds, and like I can dodge it. I can come over here. I don't know, but it's kind of weird. But anyway, so if you try to do more because you're like, oh my God, I had a great year. I did $100,000. Now I'm going to go expired listings, or now I'm going to door knock, or now I'm going to try to add to what I'm doing. That's your first mistake. Unless you are making $500,000 or more in one area, I would say do not try to diversify, because what you're going to do is you're going to split your focus. And then when you split your focus, you will at least a minimum drop what you're doing that's successful by at least 20% or more, depending on how much focus you put on this other thing. And the other thing is not going to work right away. It may take 6 months to a year for that other thing to work. And depending on how much money you're spending on it will depend on how it goes. So I will tell you this, most people that are in the real estate business get their business out of sphere of influence. And so what I would tell you to do is go back to all the deals that you did last year, find out where they all came from. Double, triple down on it. Triple down on everything that worked last year, and then find out what you're spending money on that's not working and just get rid of it. Just get rid of it. Again, this is for producing agents. For producing agents. If you're not a producing agent, I'm getting to you. Try to avoid all of these people that are trying to sell you stuff. Everybody is trying to sell a real estate agent something, and you got to avoid that. Do everything you can to avoid that, please. Now, a lot of times, you just got to get better at what you're doing. That's really what it is. So triple down on what's already working. Get rid of all the fluff, like AI likes to say. AI likes to use the word fluff. Get rid of all the BS and just focus on what you're working. Triple down on it. Now, non-producing agents. So if you are in the business and you have been licensed for 3 months or more and you have done no business, or you've done very little business, I'm going to give you 3 steps to help your business explode. But I'm going to tell you this right now. You may think that real estate is hard. If you say, yes, real estate is hard, I agree with you, Frank. That's great. Guess what? It's actually 10 times harder than you think it is. And so you have to acknowledge that, and you have to realize the amount of effort that you're going to have to put through is what's going to be the difference maker. You have to do so much work, put out so much volume that it's going to be unreasonable for you to not be successful. And that's where everybody in the real estate space that's not doing business, that's where they fail. So this is the 3-step system. So this 3-step system is you have to build your foundation. And this is super simple. I've dumbed this down to the ridiculous. Anybody can do this. You have to create a foundation. You create a foundation from 2 different things, your database and your online presence. Those 2 things are massively important. Your database, because first of all, I hate all databases, and it's not your job to like a database, it's your job to use the database. So pick a database, I don't care what it is. Get everybody you know in your phone, in your computer, and put them into the database. You should know on average of around 300 people. So hold on a second. On average, 300 people. If you don't know on average of 300 people, you have a different problem. I've had people that I'm saying, how many people do you know? They're like, oh, I know 50. I'm like, you are 50. So you only met one person a year for the entire time you've been alive. They're like, well, yeah. I'm like, no, that's not true, because you have family. And you have family. Like, oh, my entire family is not around anymore. Okay, well, you know people. You know on average of 300 people. The only person that has a valid argument here is an 18-year-old kid that just got out of high school. And he also has his yearbook that probably has more than 300 people in it. He could use that, unless he comes from a high school that has less than 300 people who graduated. But that's an exception, not the rule. So, and I can even help that person. I'm going to give you a hack if you're one of these people like, I don't know 300 people. Stop it. You do. But anyway, so your database. You get your people into your database, and then you make sure that your online presence is intact and solid. Now, online presence, this is about showing people who you are so they can relate to you. So when somebody searches for you online, when they get your marketing, when they talk to you, whatever they do, and they start comparing you to other agents, or they just want to see what your deal is, that you come across solid. And you do this by having an online presence on social media. I would say Instagram and Facebook for sure. You have a tight website. Make sure your website's tight. And I mean, honestly, that's all we really need. If you want to be on the other social media platforms, that's fine. But just if you're not going to use it, then don't be on it. And like, I know Gary Vee talks about LinkedIn. I'm not a fan of LinkedIn. I've tried to do so many things on LinkedIn. I've paid them a lot of money. It just doesn't work for me. So it is what it is. But social media presence and database, that is your first step. And this is the reason social media is, because if you're not telling your story, someone else is. This is a way to tell your story, the way to get yourself out there. Remember, people are going to use you when they know you, like you, and trust you. When they know you, they're going to get to know you. They can do that through social media. That's happened to me so many times. I can't even tell you. But it puts a presence out there. So when someone searches for you, because everybody is online, everybody, they're going to be able to find you. Make sure you have some goals. So the goals can go into your database and go into, you could put this as number 3 on the first step if you want to. Have some goals that are ridiculous, because your goals don't have to be like, oh, I want to make 100,000. That's great. That's great. I had somebody in their first 12 months in real estate make $189,000 following this plan, and he never thought that was possible. So the only thing that's going to make your goal ridiculous is if you do not put the amount of effort that you need to put in there to be successful. Now, I already told you this. Everybody wants to buy, sell, or rent. Now, you have people in your database. Now, keep in mind, everybody in your database knows an average of 300 people as well. So if you take all of those people and you start making that grow, there's a lot of connections that you have. Most people that you're going to do business with may not be directly from your database. It may be somebody that they've told, because as you grow in real estate, the referral aspect of it, which means the people you know are going to tell people you don't know about you, are going to end up giving you business. That is the biggest win in real estate, but it only happens in one way. Your job is to connect and do lead generation with the people in your database. And when I say lead generation, you're going to call them and you're going to do the Ford script: family, occupation, recreation, dreams. You just want to connect with them and make sure that they know that you're in real estate. Find out what they do, take notes, put all that stuff down there, because this is the thing. Everybody's going to buy, sell, or rent. And when you talk to them, I would say most of them, if not all of them, are not going to be ready to buy or sell. They're not going to be ready. But this is why you follow up. Because when you talk to them this month, they may not be ready to buy or sell. And then you're going to send them something. You're going to follow up with them. You're going to send them a text message. You're going to do all of these different things. 65 touches is what I recommend. That's what my wife's team does. That's what we did as a team beforehand. And honestly, it was probably more than that. And the reason you follow up so much is because you're going to call John in your database and he's going to be fine. Family's fine. Kids are fine. Job's fine. Everything's fine. But then in 2 weeks, guess what? It's not going to be fine. Somebody's going to lose their job. Somebody's going to pass away. Somebody's going to graduate and go to college. Somebody's going to have a baby. Somebody's going to get promoted. Something's going to happen, and their family life is going to change. I'll tell you what, in the last 4 years, I've seen more divorces than I have seen anything else. We've actually had real estate agents help us sell their home because of divorces. And you just don't know when things are going to change in somebody's life. And so that is why you follow up with people aggressively but friendly. And you have to put so much effort in that you think it's going to be unreasonable for you to be not successful. Now, that is the key, is you follow up aggressively. And everybody in your database will buy, sell, or rent. There very few people are in their forever home that they're not going to need you. But let's say, well, Frank, I don't know 300 people, and I just got into a car wreck and I have amnesia and I just don't know anybody. what do I do then? I want to get my real estate license. So maybe a little bit more difficult, but not very difficult. So when I moved to California, I didn't know anybody. I had family members that would not use me. I had a father-in-law who ended up buying or selling like 5 or 6 properties without me. He could give a shit about his grandkids. It was really sad. So I had no database. And honestly, I didn't understand the database concept. Everybody that I talked to at the time was like farm, 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 not database, database, database. It should always be database, because this is your list of clients that own large assets. And so it's really, really important that you build your database. So if you don't have a database and you have to build a database, I will tell you what I did, and I would do this again. If everything in my life went away, I would go join a bowling league. I would go join a bowling league, a very large bowling league, because what happened was when I moved to California, and this was accident. I bowled in Las Vegas and then I moved out to California, and I figured, let's do this for fun. And so I jumped on a bowling league, and there was 5 people on my team, and there was 10 teams. So all of those people were there every week, and I got to rotate every week to meet and talk to different people. My first year with the bowling league, I sold 5 houses from the bowling league. And it wasn't until years after that I was like, oh yeah, that was actually really cool. So that's what I would do. I would join a bowling league, but go do something that puts you around people that have things in common. So I'll give you a perfect example, meetup.com. So if everything in my life fell apart and I was by myself, I would join a bunch of groups of like-minded people where it put me in groups all the time, constantly. That would be my thing, to be in groups all the time. I would go to lunch with people. I would go to dinner with people. I would go to networking meetings. I would do everything I could. Not around other real estate agents, but around other people that have similar, like-minded things that I like to do. Darts, bowling, soccer, bird watching. I don't know. If birder is a thing. I don't know. But that is going to be a way that you connect with people, and then you will be able to grow your database. And I mean, there's 365 days in a year, so that's less than 1 person a year that you have to meet to put in your database. You can absolutely 100% do that. Absolutely 100% do that. Actually, there's a real estate, now she's not a coach, she's an influencer. She came up during the pandemic. I'm not going to say her name, but she talked about how she was single and she built her database by getting on a dating app, and she would go meet people. And most of the people that she wouldn't meet, she would not be interested in, but she'd keep connected with them, put them in her database, and follow up. And she ended up selling a bunch of houses to guys that she ended up not being romantically interested in. But the dating app was almost like lead generation for her. I thought it was brilliant. So you build your database, and then you do the lead generation. You call everybody, talk to everybody, make sure everybody knows. You are not going to be everybody's best friend, but they can be yours. Or vice versa, whatever you want to say that. But you have to treat them like your best friend. And you have to follow up with them and just be consistent with the follow-up and talking to them. And then, so I mixed the last 2, the lead generation, and then the third step is follow-up. Follow-up. That is the key to the entire situation. I cannot tell you how many times that I followed up with people. I followed up with people that have ignored me and ghosted me. And I'll tell you what happened is that I followed up with somebody, and when I first started, and it followed up with like 6 months, he never responded to me. And then he said, hey, I want you to come by the property. I came by the property. He's like, do you know why you're here? And I said, no. And he said, because you're the only one that's followed up with me. And he never responded. And so the thing is I'm in my mind, I'm like, that just ruined everybody. And then in recruiting, I actually had somebody I met with. He said he was going to join. He was supposed to show up the next day to sign the paperwork. He didn't. I just kept following up with him. I literally followed up with him for a year, just through text. And it was really not, and this is the other thing I learned. You never know why somebody's not getting back to you. You don't know what's happening in that person's life. You can only tell your own story of what you think it is, and you can get mad and whatever, but I'm going to tell you, you don't know what's going on. So you have to just assume that, everything's fine. And you follow up with them. So when the guy ghosted me, I followed up with him for literally a year, text messaging, easily once a week for a year. One day he responded, said, I'm coming in. He didn't even say sorry for not responding to you for the last 12 months. He was just like, I'll be in tomorrow at 4. He showed up tomorrow at 4 and joined. That ruined follow-up. That ruined every other recruit that was out there for me, because now I know that it works. So now I know if I follow up with you enough, I don't stop following up no matter what. And I'm always nice. I'm always kind. And I just do that. So the follow-up is the key. Now, if you're a recruiter, everything I said here is valid for you. But I'm going to tell you, for all three of you, producing agents, non-producing agents, and recruiters, if you want to do more business, if you want to recruit more people, if you want to sell more houses, I'm going to make this super easy for you. You talk to more people. You figure out a way to talk to more people. You talk to more producing agents. You talk to more people that own homes. You just talk to more people. And you increase that volume until you are getting the number that you want to get. This is why Recruiting Boss works, is because I'm giving you leads to where you're getting a volume amount of people, and you're able to talk to more people and more people and more people and more people. And that's the key. I've had people that are basically rocket scientists trying to coach me, and all these people telling me these, what are they called? Like neuro-linguistic programming, and like all of these magic tricks. Like, you don't need magic tricks. First of all, you need to not be a jerk, be relatable, get people to know, like, and trust you, and talk to a whole bunch of people. And this is the other thing. For your team or your office, you need to deliver value. What value do you have to bring to somebody? And I'll tell you, as a real estate agent, your value is over communication. Like, I'm going to talk to you more than anybody else, and I'm going to make sure that I guide you in the right direction as much as I possibly can. That is massive value, because so many real estate agents are trash at communicating and following up and guiding you the right way. Same thing can be said for a team leader or run a real estate office. Like, you communicate and talk to more people, and you help guide them, and you help them make 6 figures. All the stuff that I just told you, you tell that to them, and then you just follow up with them. And I'll tell you, this is the secret hack for team leaders, is that if you go to the third of your office that is not producing, and you find 5 people that are actually willing to put in the work, you could change your office's financial future in less than 6 months. So I want you to have an amazing 2026. That's why I did this whole thing. I'm going to look through my notes here. I don't know if I forgot anything or not. But I will. So this is the other part. I just almost missed it. I'm not going to sit here and tell you exactly what to do. I'm not your resource. What I want you to be, and this is what's going to make you an amazing business owner, is that you have to become resourceful. You have to take all I'm saying, and I'm telling you, go to ChatGPT and say, I want to create a 65-touch follow-up plan for my real estate business in Los Angeles, California. I want it spread across calls, text, emails, mailers, social media, anything else that you can think of. I have low budget. I don't have a lot of money to spend, but I need to get a solid follow-up program, and let it spit something out for you. I may actually, I'm going to put in a prompt at the bottom of what I did to show you what it did. Your job as a real estate agent and as a team leader is to become resourceful, not look for people to give you answers. So become resourceful, be aggressive, follow up with people so much that it's going to be unreasonable that you're not successful. That way, if you do all of those things, you will have an amazing 2026. I can't guarantee it because I don't know who you are, but if it were me, I could guarantee it because I know the amount of work that I could put out. And guess what? If I can do it, you absolutely can do it. So hope this video was helpful. Happy New Year to everybody. I hope everybody has a fantastic 2026, and I will talk to you later.